What is up, riders? Welcome back to our channel and welcome to our new workshop. We are busy finishing it up, but that doesn't mean we don't stop with the videos. So today we are working on our Urban Riders orange BWS 100 and we're going to be fitting the drive. Alright, so here's the motor. If you haven't seen the stretched build of this bike, check it out in the pop-up above. But we've pulled it out since again, and we need to start on building this motor. So it's much easier putting it on the bench. And yeah, I mean, it's just so much more easier. So this is the motor. This is our YW100. So it's a BWS 100cc. It's an air cooled, and these are the ones we got in South Africa. So what I want to do today is obviously I want to do the top end eventually, but I'm missing a few parts. So this is going to have to be in another video. But for now, I just want to get this drive completed. You can see here we've got some cutouts in our standard drive bolt cover. So this is going to look quite cool, especially with some of the new parts. So first we've got to do is we just got to take this off. I've got new screws, new bolts. Everything's going to look clean, neat, and new. So before we get into that, let's check out what we're installing. Okay, so first up we are going to be installing the Malossi multivalve. This is the one that we put in almost all of our BWS builds. So this one is tried and tested, and we're going to go with this into this. Another Malossi part is we're going to go with the matching half to the variator, and this is the ventil valve or your fan pulley. This is just a beautiful piece of machinery. So this is going to match the multivalve. Multivalve and ventil valve go well together. Pair that with a Malossi belt, which I've got over here, and these will make a great set. And then we're going to go with the Malossi torque driver. This is the half, so we will need to use the standard OEM fixed pulley. This is the sliding pulley. We wanted to go with the NCY, but we just haven't got that in time, so we might swap that out later. The NCY comes with both halves, whereas the Malossi only comes with this half. Still a great piece of equipment, but it obviously would be nice to mix up some of the products in this build. But for now, Malossi it is. Along with all the variator components, you do not want to miss putting in a Malossi torsion controller. This sits underneath your spring that comes in your variator kit, and this helps with any sticking on the spring and allows it to flow freely, and it doesn't jump or anything. Great bang for your buck, super cheap, worth adding into your order. Got a set of rollers here from Malossi as well. These are 6.5 grams. We're going to start with these. Alternatively, we do have the stage 6 variator weight kit, and these go from 6.5 to 9.5. And then I've got another one which I don't have on the desk here, which ranges from 5.5 upwards. So we can always go light on the rollers, but for now we're going to go with this Malossi. Now it comes to our clutch, and what we are going to be installing is a Motoforce Delta clutch. This is the 107mm Delta clutch, which means we have to run a different bell. Now that being said, that doesn't matter because the bell looks beautiful, but this is for a 50cc. This is going to work perfect in the 100. It's a few millimeters shorter, which means that this is a 107, the standard is a 112, but for what we want to do, this is going to be perfect. And with this clutch, we're also going to put in this bell. This bell is, in my opinion, very beautiful because it's orange, and our whole build is going to be based off of a white and orange livery. So this is going to look amazing, especially through the holes through our bolt cover. So this clutch and clutch bell from Motoforce. And then last but not least, we've got some springs from the Malossi Delta clutch kit. I might play around with these, I might not. I might also order some Motoforce ones or some stage 6 springs to mess around with it. But this is for your Delta clutch for Malossi. It comes with extra weights and springs, 3 sets of springs. So I might mess around with some of the spring weights in here, not the weights, just the spring tensions. And yeah, we'll see if we need that. But for now, I'm just going to install everything as is. Once the bike's running, we can test it, swap out some parts if we need, and then tune it properly. Another thing to remember is I think we put in a Malossi primary gear kit, so that includes the shaft and the gear up kit, so it changes the teeth ratio. I'll put it up on screen now, but I'm 99% sure that this is a Malossi one, but the only way to tell would be to either ride it and hear it, or take this apart again. And I don't really want to do that. I know there's oil in it. I know that there's obviously everything's in here, so I don't want to take it out again. But yeah, I think this is a Malossi one too. Starting with the torque driver, we got some brand new OEM Yamaha pins. These don't normally wear, but I'm just going to be rather safe than sorry. We also got this genuine piece. This is the collar that goes over your sliding sheave. These normally wear out, the pins break through, so ours did that, so we put in a brand new in. Moving on to the Malossi sliding sheave. So we got a fixed sheave and a sliding sheave. Malossi's one is the sliding one. Comes with some O-rings there, as you can see, some nice MHR grease. So we're going to put that to the side and then have a look at this nice piece of equipment. This is basically the half of the torque driver. Nice, beautiful Malossi one. It comes with 2 separate slots, so you kind of have double the life of them because they do wear out. So yeah, but before we do that, we want to clean everything. You don't want any grease, grime, or oil on these because obviously the bolt's going to slide over this and you don't want the bolt to be slipping. So clean your old parts, even clean your new parts. Got the torsion controller that just stops slipping. Now we're going to open up the multivar pack to get the torsion spring or the contra spring. This comes in your multivar kit, so I'm just going to put that there. Get some nice stickers with the pack always. 7.1 motor oil, shout out. Start with the O-rings. Make sure you seat these nicely. I like to wet them a little bit with some grease. Make sure you don't twist them. If you twist them, you struggle to get that collar over and you can potentially break them. Make sure they're seated properly. Take your time and you'll be fine. Once the O-rings are seated, you just want to wet the seals. I like to put a little bit of grease on there and just wet it. Not saturate, just wet so that they're going nicely and everything stays lubricated. Nothing's going to perish in the future. Sliding this on here, you just want to line up the holes with the grooves. We're going to go with this set and we're going to put our brand new pins in. Make sure you put in the right hole. One is for the pins and the other is for lubricating. We're just going to grease up every single slot, including the slots that don't have the pins in. This is supposed to be full of grease. That sheave will keep everything in, and the more lubrication around this, the better. It will last a lot longer this way. Putting on this collar, we did this a little bit off camera, but just press this on very nicely. We used our vise. You can hit it down, but you don't want to damage it. So we just tapped it down, got it over those O-rings. Heading on to the clutch now, we've got our torsion controller, fits perfectly in this clutch. We're also going to put the contra spring on, and this basically stops it from rotating around when you're riding, so no jumping happens in the rear. This is a two-man job normally, so got my dad here to put the nut back on. Remember, turn it backwards, turn it the right way, and it's easy as that. We got our 41mm socket. We ground off the edge so it's flat because these nuts are super thin. We just use our impact driver to make sure it's on perfectly. Try not to scratch a paint. Put the bell on, and that looks sick.
Alright, done with that juicy goodness. Obviously this clutch bar isn't going on yet, but what I haven't done yet is I haven't greased up the shaft here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of grease in there, and then we are going to start with the front variator.
Moving on to installing the drive, we're starting with the multivar kit. So this comes with one set of rollers, and the rollers are 11 gram. That's for a standard setup. So as you can see here, 11 gram. They are 19 by 15.5, so that's a bigger size than the standard. These are the rollers that we're going to be putting in. It's a 6.5 gram roller from Malossi, same size, just a little bit lighter. This will work great with an exhaust pipe. That's why we're going to go with this. Got our cam here, putting our sliders on. Make sure you put it the right way. And this cam has a different profile to the standard one, so that will fit quite nicely, go nicely with these rollers. And then what you want to do is you want to put this bushing in. It's a dry bush, it's not like the original, so don't put any grease on this one. Wipe off everything. It comes with a layer of protective coating. You want to clean all of this off with some brake cleaner. Just prepping everything here. You got the fan pulley here looking quite clean.
Okay, I've pre-assembled pretty much everything now. We've got all of our necessary washers. We aren't actually going to run a kickstart right now on this. We'll probably put a grommet in. If we do later, we'll get a CNC'd STR8 one. But for now, these are all what we're going to use. This washer comes with the front fan pulley that goes over there. And then with this, you don't have to run the star washer. You can see there that there's no groove for a star washer, so that's not necessary. So yeah, let's put it into the drive and close it up.
Moving on, we've got the Malossi belt. This belt has a slightly different angle to OEM. This just suits the multivar and the fan pulley way better. So we love to run this belt on a complete setup. Just putting in the multivar here. Make sure that it's all the way to the back. Putting our clutch and torque driver on. Pinch it nicely so you don't pinch it between the front. And then of course, don't forget your washer. This spacer allows for your multivar to start at the correct positioning. If you don't put this in, your gearing could be out. Lastly, we just want to put on this sick looking clutch bell, put the nuts on, torque them down nice and tight, and that should be it.
That is looking clean. I'm loving the orange. Obviously, we've got the orange oil filler cap, and it's the same anodized orange. So if you want to check those out, they're also on our website, the Stage 6 ones. So check them out there. You can lock it for racing with the lock wire. But we're focusing on the front end here, this beautiful Malossi front end variator and fan pulley, and then obviously the Malossi torque driver and Motoforce clutch and bell combo. Pair that with the Malossi belt, and I think we got a solid build. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the bolt cover back on, and we're going to hopefully see if we can see through and see some of these awesome parts. So we can do that now. And then I've also got some cool anodized orange screws for the bolt cover. So we're going to put that on, and then once I get some more parts, then we're going to head on to the top end. So if you want to be kept up to date, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It keeps you in the loop. Anyway, let's put the camera back on the tripod and mount up this bolt cover. I think that looks absolutely insane. So you can see the clutch bell from the inside of the casings over here through these holes. You can see a little bit of the front fan pulley, and of course the orange screws just make it look so sick. It really matches the clutch bell quite nicely, as well as the oil filler cap. This is turning out to be one of my favorite builds. So what's next is obviously the top end, so be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all of that. But for now, we're gonna just do some beauty shots, and I'll check you in the next video. Peace.